All right, so we'll do a little rundown through the casings here. Good performers and bad performers. I'll tell you what's worthwhile, what's not. Okay, so first things first. This was the 40 mic. One blank, the full power Washington County blank, and this one does not have a chamber insert in it, so it consequently blew this casing apart. I was having trouble with the launcher, the Cobra, and you'll see it in the video. It took me a minute to get it cleared, and there was a little white piece of plastic fell out of the Cobra, so I don't know if it must have either, when I took the shell out and set it on the table, I don't know, it must have popped out and popped into the Cobra. I don't know how it got there, but it got into the Cobra somehow and was jamming it up, and I wasn't sure what it went to. Well, now I know. All right, so these 40 mic casings, obviously full power blanks, no liner, one-time use. Done deal. Junk. Okay, so moving on. These are my open source bushing chalk rounds. I used the 380 Rem blanks in these three here, and they all launched fine. They only went about 100 yards, so they need a little more power. But the casings are they're all intact. They are reloadable. So I will reload and see how long I can get out of these. I'm probably going to strengthen the web of the casing at the bottom and shorten the pusher just a little bit. When you'll see on the video, they flew pretty well, as far as, you know, being smooth bore, as far as that goes. But yeah, they all look pretty good. I mean, turn them over. The rims didn't rip off. Nothing like that. I mean, you can see some of the dirt and powder back. I mean, would I expect these to last 5-6 times? No, probably 2-3 loadings maybe, and then they'll crap out on you. One of the things I'll be doing is I'll be releasing the STL for the people who are 3D printers, so you can remove your core and print a new shell and replace it. So, I mean, literally printing these plastic, depending on the type of PLA you're using and all that, and time and your power, probably 50, 60, 70 cents a piece in them tops. Okay, so the one with the full power blank, this was a Washington County full power blank, and you can see it blew it to smithereens. But you can also see that the bushing held that pressure. So the way I designed these is the pusher slips over and in between in that gap to give you a little bit additional strength. Sorry, get back out here. So yeah, to give you a little additional strength. But I fully expected this one to blow up. It did. It blew the chalk piece. It blew the pusher in half. You know, blew it all to pieces. It's just too much. This load is a Washington County. It's a military surplus load. It's 7 grains, basically bullseye. It's way too much. These are not 5.5. I want to say, I don't know what they are, but I think they're less than 5.5. So the next experimentation will be with that box over there. I'll probably pop a few of those 380 blanks out, load some at different levels. Probably start at 3 grains of bullseye, go 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, up to 5.5, and see where we're at there. Okay, so on to the real winners, and these are my 3D printed casings. These are the Cobra Safe with the powder cup basically built into it. You can see remnants in there of the 1 1/4 inch cardboard disc that I glue over the powder in there. That was a loose charge of powder, 209 primer. I'm sorry, Remington STS 209 primer. These worked great. They were accurate and they got long range. You'll see on the video. I was getting 150, 160 often with these, and these again are the Cobra Safe line. They're good out of any launcher. I shot these out of the Cobra. Why not? Just to prove that it's Cobra Safe, right? So, same thing. This was a Cobra Safe load. Rim's still intact. This is still reloadable. These are strong. I print them at 99 walls, and these were printed on my bed sliders over here, which at the time they weren't calibrated, and I didn't dry the PLA. So now I dry the PLA, and it helps with the quality of the product. Same thing, all of them have dryers on them except for that one over there. It doesn't have dryer on it right now. So anyway, yeah, so these are great casings. So when you buy those Cobra Safe rounds, you can keep this casing, clean it up, punch that primer out, try not to wallow out that hole. For the 209, it'll last you several times, and if it gets loose, you can put a piece of tissue in it, seat that primer, or you can take a little hot glue, stick it in the hole first, just a little dab will do you. Put it in the hole, smear it around, and stick that primer in real quick. Let it dry. You don't want it to go too far. You want it to stay flush. But yeah, these will work several times. These are here just to prove it. These are the ones that were reloaded. The marks on the side of the case were the amount of times it's been reloaded prior to this, so I'll add an additional mark for each of these. These were printed several months ago. And so this one, this was number 2. I did have one blew up on me a while back, just cracked in half. So this is the third, it's the third shooting, and it still looks like it's in good shape. Once I clean it up a little bit, wipe it down. You don't want to wash these, you just want to wipe them out with like a damp cloth or something, paper towel. Then I'll be able to reload it. This is number 1, and loaded twice, now 3 times. This one was the replacement one, so this is the second loading on this. No problems, it's still good. And again, this is the third loading on this one. I do have one around here somewhere that's got 5 loadings on it. So anyway, just to prove to you that these printed shells, oh, they won't last. They'll last you 3-4 times, and if you pay $1 a piece for them and they last you 4 times, you essentially paid $1/4 a shot for these hulls. So I mean, that's fine. Obviously, aluminum shells are the best, but you're gonna pay for them, and you still have limitations because look how thick these things are. You have to get projectiles made to fit, and it seems like every brand is a little different, so that means you're constantly adjusting projectiles. So what I've done with these is I've standardized this for you, so all you have to do is order the same projectiles and you can reload. And I've got the files, those will be uploaded as well for the 3D printers out there, so you can print your own, guys. I'm just trying to recoup a little bit of my T&E first, because I've bought a lot of equipment and spent a lot of money on getting this stuff developed for you. So just trying to recoup a little bit of it. I don't expect to make a ton of money or anything off it, but I do need to recoup some of my investment. So that's where I'm at with this. My videos are not monetized, my channel's not monetized, so there's that. Okay, so moving on. This was a winner too. This is my Buttermilk 2.0 short. These are the short ones. They take a shotgun shell blank, and it did actually pretty well. And this one actually is I utilized the Chinese 2-part epoxy you can get off AliExpress. It's really cheap, it's clear. It seems to hold pretty well. I don't think it's as good as JB Weld, but it does seem to hold. I think that the brass tends to adhere better to the plastic with the epoxy than the aluminum, just for a heads up. This was loaded, this one had 14 grains of the shotgun powder that I pulled it down from. Basically, I took a box of that Federal Walmart shotgun ammo and I took it apart. I cut them in half with a PVC pipe cutter right after the wad, so the shot was all in one part, and I saved all the shot because I cast that down and make slugs out of it. And then I dumped all the powder out of it because you don't know what's loaded in there. You don't know the type of powder or what. And so I emptied it all out. I kept the shotgun holes and used them as blanks. Then what I did is I measured out and started low at 3 grains, and I worked my way up till I found the sweet spot, which was around 14 grains of whatever powder that was in there. And then I started making blanks and putting the wad cap on top of it, and then hot gluing the cap on top of that. This performed really well. The only downside is that these shells will eventually wear out and you have to replace the base, because you might have to put some hot glue or something to get the blank to stick in there. Right now it's in there good, but I'll tap it out and I'll do a follow-up video on it. But this one is full metal lined as far as I can get it down. So the way the base is designed, there is a 3/4 inch nipple in there, close nipple on this one, so it's 1 inch long, and it gets epoxied inside, and then there's a 3/4 inch brass nut that takes up, it's 1.5 inches, so it takes up the entire inside to give you pretty much a full metal lining on the inside of this hybrid case. So it contains the pressure real well. This one is a yeah, it looks like a 17 gauge. I do have some that are 22 gauge. It might be a 22 gauge. Yeah, I have to measure it to make sure. Either way, 17 gauge is the best. If you can't get 17 gauge, you can use a 20 or 22 gauge. Just mind you, they're not going to last as long. But 17 gauge is actually the best brass 1.5 inch pipe for 37. So anyway, that worked well. So the next up is these guys. These are what I've got currently on eBay as the hybrid kits. So these are a hybrid base kit. They have 1.5 inch, either 1.5 inch or 1 inch. I think it's a 1 inch. I have to look at it and see. I think it's a 1 inch. Close nipple. It's actually at 1.1 or 1.2. It's a 1/2 inch nominal pipe thread, and the nut on top is also a 1/2 inch nominal pipe thread, and it just hammers down into the let's see if I can find one for you here. Nope, not right there. Where are we at? Where did I put them? Should have had all this laid out, but this was kind of a last minute thing here. Follow up. Oh, yeah, no, that's not that. Color coded so I can find everything right? Nope. Nope. They're down here, that's why. There we go. All right, so this is, when you order this hybrid kit, that's what you're getting, is one of these bases with this nipple on it, and there is a washer in the bottom and a nut on top. And this is all epoxied in. It's set up to take the 209. The first couple you put in are going to be tight. That's just the nature of the beast. And what you're going to make is one of these right here out of it. So that's what you end up with. You can see kind of, see if I can zoom in on it. So you can see down there, there's that washer is down there to give you that bottom metal. So basically you're protecting as much of this plastic base as you can. It's a long base, and the JB Weld hook, these grooves are made so the JB Weld will adhere. You want to scratch up on the inside of these, you want to scratch up the inside of these casings real well so it has something to grab. That JB Weld has something to grab. And these perform really well. I use these with the Pyrodex pellets. And as you can see, there's 9 here. This last one, it must have been a bad print because it's separated right here. Or maybe I didn't have this piece here, this nipple hammered all the way down flush. So you got to make sure when you do tap these down, you load them up with JB Weld and hammer them. They got to go all the way to the floor. They'll make a sound and you'll hear it, and you'll hear the difference when you're tapping on it. You got to give it more than a love tap too, but you want it seated against as far as it can go against that washer down there, and the JB Weld to kind of seal it up. But so you can still see the washer still on there. See, there's the washer. So it did its job. It's just it failed on the base, failed here, and it launched the whole. I think some of it might have been too much glue on the projectile as well, because it launched the whole tube. But you can see here, there's not a lot of JB Weld down here at the bottom. So I think I didn't get enough JB Weld on it. So sometimes it happens. Don't go cheap with JB Weld. Use a ton of it, and then you can take a damp cloth and you can wipe off the excess while it's wet, and you'll be fine. So these were all fine. They all JB welded. Same thing. These were winners. These were producing 150 to 170 yards on average with the Pyrodex. Some of them kicked a little bit, so they do produce some pressure. When I do load these, I put the Pyrodex pellet in there after I prime it, and I take those 3 cardboard discs that are, I want to say they're 5/8 discs, punched out, and I stick them on top, and then I fill that with glue. So the bigger the glue wad you have, the more pressure you're going to get. So just keep that in mind. I had one that was pretty hard, but I remember I did one that was probably about a 1/2 inch glue plug. So I'm thinking a 1/4 inch glue plug is all you need for these. So Pyrodex pallet, 50 grains, 1 777, and 3 of the little cardstock, and then a 1/4 inch of glue on top of that. Those are consistently hitting 150 to 170 yards. All right, so next up, just some aluminums. I popped these off. They were black powder loaded. I had them loaded for a while with smokes. I popped them in the river. They did smoke in the river a little bit. I didn't really care. I just wanted to go ahead and pop off a couple of those. They've been loaded for a while, and black powder and Pyrodex is hydrophoric. So the longer you have it stored, it can absorb moisture and you'll get poor burn. I had a couple that did that. I don't know how long they had been loaded and whether or not they absorbed any water, or maybe it just, I don't know, it just didn't have them, pushed all the way down properly. Anyway, that's something I'm gonna be working on some more with those. So the next up was my Buttermilk 3.0 custom built cases. These were loaded with 8 grains of bullseye. I got about 100 yards out of it at best. These I'm gonna have more work. I'm gonna have to make the blanks hotter, but what I'm gonna do is I don't wanna go hotter with bullseye. I'm gonna switch to a shotgun powder, probably tight group, and start with that and try these with tight group instead. Because I think because of the volume, since it's closer to a shotgun 12 gauge shell, which is actually too small for a 12 gauge shell to fit in here, or else I would have done that. But I couldn't find, the thing that makes these work is this nut on the bottom and a piece of flanged 1.5 inches. So you can see that creates the rim, but it only works with certain launchers because it makes the rim very thick. So the TAC 79 doesn't mind it at all. It likes it. They're heavy duty. I don't have to worry about swelling or anything. They will handle the pressure, no problem. And it's a printed core with those pieces of hardware tightened down after you put the JB Weld on it, and they're tightened down, and then you press fit this on with a press. I don't think I'll be going into production with these because they do cost about $12 each to make, just in parts, and not including my labor or anything else. And you have to print a blank, which I do have the blanks printed. So I mean, if someone's interested, I'll be happy to share all the construction methods and everything with you on that, and I can send you the STL file, or you can make your own printed blank. My printed blanks seem to work fine. They snap off at the base, but they don't back out. So that's that. Okay, next up, copper. These were the copper cup shells. These were the short copper cup, and all it was a 1/2 inch copper. You can kind of see it down in there. 1/2 inch copper cap with a hole drilled out. Some of these weren't drilled completely centered, so that might have been some of the reason why the burn wasn't really good. They didn't perform as well as I liked, so I'm going to be discontinuing that design altogether. Next up, carbon fibers. These are the thick, shiny ones. These I chose to go with the 38 base. So these are a off-the-shelf bushing, just like the chalk rounds over here. It's the same bushing. But I made a base out of it, and I shot it. There's no restriction on the orifice. Not so much. If you kept this shell at about a 50 millimeter to 60 millimeter length, I think it would have performed better. The length definitely affects the pressure. Okay, more volume, less pressure, right? Less volume, more pressure. So everything is is obviously a formula. It's a combination. The only way to standardize that is to standardize shell lengths. So what I want to do is try to keep the shell length standardized right around this, which is about 1.8. So I'm probably going to cut these down and try them again, give them another whirl. I may order some more. Depends on whether my supplier can get me a good price on them or not. These I paid a lot of money for to have shipped, and duties and everything, because I did get them from overseas. They are from China, but they're fairly well made. The thicker ones I think will hold better. I don't know how long they will hold, but we'll see. The thin ones, I did the 209 base, just basically the Pyrodex pellet base. They perform excellent. The only thing that I did notice one of these does, yeah, this one right here, you can kind of see there's a crack. So it did crack it with the Pyrodex. So it looks like it goes down pretty far. I don't know. So I'll be pulling this apart, and what I'm gonna do is I have to redesign the bases because these thicker ones need a smaller base on the inside, obviously, because they're thicker. But I want to try the thicker ones with this setup, see how they perform. But so 1 out of 4 did crack. I think it's probably just not able to take the explosive pressure. I don't know if that's cracked there or not. No, it's not a crack. So they did perform well. They all went about 150 to 170 yards on this long shell. So I think, again, length matters. I think with the Pyrodex and black powder, you need more length. I think with the blanks, you need less length. That's just a theory. Okay, so copper cups over here again. These performed okay, the short ones. I don't know why these didn't perform as well. It might have been, I think these I put the covers over. These I did not, so I don't know if that helped or not. Oh, I did have some glue in there. So I had covers on these too, so I don't know if it was plastic. I think I put plastic disc on them. That's exactly what it was. One of these has a plastic disc. And basically what I did was I made these plastic discs to lay over in there, glue them down. So that's what it was. Is some of these I had plastic disc in, and some I had paper. And yeah, there's the plastic disc right there. See? So it was glued in one of these. And it's just basically what it is. This one's a thin one, but I had a thicker one. Anyway, they're 30 millimeter disc. I need to make them a little bigger. It did take a lot of the pressure. It stayed in there, so it's cracked all the way through. I mean, you can see. These are printed at 100% infill, 99 8-wall thickness. Print them the same as you would a frame for a gun. The bases and everything. So yeah, copper cup. It does work. So if you want to design your own base and get your tubing and put copper cup in there, and then print you a card to go over it and glue it in there, it'll work. The long one, it worked too, but I didn't have any glue on it. I think I super glued it, and there was not much super glue left, so this one slipped out, but it stayed intact. So I'll re-epoxy that. Okay, so same thing down here. These are the DT Defense Technology System blank inserts. So the inserts I'm designing will be like these, and it looks like that one looks like it cracked. Yeah, so you can see it looks like there's a crack in this base, but it's still glued in there, so I'll shoot it again until it breaks. This one, yeah, looks like they all kind of have a little stress cracks on there. It's okay though, they're cheap, right? So, I mean, it doesn't cost much once you have the inserts. Put the insert in there. This one's still good. This one, the case came loose. I had good JB weld in there, as you can see, but I don't think it was adhering to that aluminum casing real well. So I may go back to just brass with these. Brass seems to be better. This one, I don't know how it slipped through the cracks, but it had no JB weld or anything on it. So of course it came off. So you got to JB weld these. These are pretty tight fit, so I must have stuck it in there and didn't realize I didn't JB weld it, but that happens. But they all went downrange with this design, really performed adequately. 170 yards easily with those, 150 to 170, some of them about 130. I think the shorter ones were 130. and the longer ones were a little more, which, or maybe vice versa. I don't know. I'll have to look back at the video. I've got the video footage. The camera did work. So I'll get that this week. I'll get it downloaded. I've got to get videos from my two girls' phones. We got two different separate videos showing how far they went and everything. And I talk about which one I'm shooting first, so you can get an idea. And what I'll do is I'll try to. What I'll do is I'm gonna take pictures of everything, and then I'm gonna try to mix the video and then put a picture of, like, okay, when I'm firing this, it'll have a picture of which one I'm firing on it. So for your reference, so you kind of have an idea. But basically, long story short, these chalks, they're going to be a win once I get the inserts done. If you can afford to buy Bengals products, you should. Ben makes absolutely fabulous stuff. This is based off the milk principle from Pope Launcher, or Launcher Pope, brother. I'm sorry, Rich. He developed the concept, and Ben helped him make it come to reality. And they've done a great job with this. This works great. I got about 130 yards with this shell. So I did get further distance with the Pyrodex setups than I did with this 380 rim blank. Now I might get better distance with a 5.5, so we'll try that with the, and it did have the gas check in it. These are winners right here, these printed shells. They're cheap. I have them on a website. Not on my website. The website's not up yet. It will be soon, though. I mean, I have a splash page and all that, but hopefully I can get that squared away soon so you can order direct from the website. But until then, go on to eBay. There's a listing. If you want these little short ones, that's not a problem. If you look on there, you can tell me exactly what size you want. You want to use the 1.25" cardboard disc. I usually try to throw some in there, but if you don't, go buy yourself a hole punch. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. This style here is freaking awesome, and it is heavy duty. I took the little guard off, but this will punch through cardboard, no problem, corrugated cardboard. But you want to get the thin corrugated, not the thick. This stuff here is too thick. You need the really thin corrugated cardboard. When you find those boxes or whatever, save them and punch them out and stick them in a bag when you're sitting there watching TV or something. These are winners. These are great. These are going to last you a while. I may go back and design some ridges inside here to grab some more of that JB Weld. If I do, I'll just replace them. If you order these, make sure you JB Weld everything. Don't pound this in without JB Weld and just pull it out. I just have it stuck in here so everything's together. It's got the washer in the bottom and all that. This steel, it'll probably rust, especially with corrosive nature if you use black powder. Use Pyrodex. These are designed for Pyrodex. They work best with 777. 777 pellets work awesome. It makes your life easier. You don't have to measure. You just pull a pellet out. You drop it in there. You put the get your other 3 hole punch. Get your other little hole punch, and that's what I have. This little one right over here. Let's see, where's that? Here it is, right here. And it is it's like 5/8 or something like that. And I took the little guard off it too, and that's what I punched those out, just cardstock, little corrugated, the thin corrugated stuff, and I put 3 of those in on top of the pellet, and then I hot glue it. That way the hot glue is not hitting that Pyrodex pellet directly. I mean, I don't think it would set it off, but you never know. And I don't like to play with powder and all that. It's dangerous, so I would advise you be safe, and you put the cardboard over it. It slip fits perfect in here, so you have 3 of them. That keeps the hot glue sealed, and it creates a good chamber in there for this Pyrodex to really do its job. And Pyrodex, next thing will be, once I get a chronograph, then I can get some speeds off this. But yeah, these little Cobra shells that I have, Cobra Safe, they work great. And the ones this is the short. Let's see, where's the medium? Other up here. All right, so this is a medium, and that was what I was launching, and they did well. The short is the best for stabilization. The medium is pretty good. The long, it'll wobble, but it'll get out there. So you can play with it how you want. These are these right here are loose change adaptable. So if you have the loose change inserts, and if you're not familiar with what those are, that's burst chambers for doing like aerial chocks. And I have, let's put these back here. I have, yeah, is that them? Yeah, so these are your different, like, I forget what they call it, primer tower or something like that, priming tower. They screw into, this one's just an oversized one. They screw into the hole in the middle, and you got to heat them up with a butane torch just a hair, because when I size these Cobrays, they're undersized, so the threads are slightly undersized. So you want to, I mean, when I say a hair, I mean you just brush it across it. You don't even want to smell it. You just brush, like left, right, left, that quick, and then try to fit it. And if it doesn't, do it again, and then stick it on there and just slowly push down and squeeze till it takes the threads, and then it'll thread in. And then you can screw the burst chamber. The burst chamber screws onto the outside of it. So that's what you would put, you know, your charge to do. Like you put black powder or whatever in there, and this one is a 50 grain black powder. They're all pre-measured. The biggest ones are 50, next one's 40, then there's a 30. I don't make anything less than that. If you combine it with the oversize here, then you know this is actually meant to give you room on your burn, so you can put your fuse through there, fill it with wood glue, let it dry, and then that gives you a buffer between your fuse and your explosive mixture for your burst charge, so you don't set it off prematurely. Okay, so that's how that works. But all my Cobra safe rounds they will work with these, and if you want them, I'll include those. Just let me know. If you don't want them, that's not a big deal either. I don't know the laws in your state. You're responsible for that. Federally, you're good to go. So that's what these are, this Cobra safe. And like I said, they work well. And I got a lot of them. And I sell them with the, you know, in the, you come into either the Dixie Thumper designed inserts, or you can get the replica ones I made. And I actually have a real set now, Vietnam 40 millimeters, so I will be speccing these out, and I will be making exact replicas based off of those, and they will go with the I have a bunch of the is it here? No, I have a bunch of the yeah, they're over here somewhere. A bunch of the Nam era bandoliers that are brand new in the wrap, and that's what these basically are. They're Nam era USGI bandoliers for 40 Mike. So they're brand spanking new. I did have to buy safety pins because the ones I bought for the Dixie Thumper are just big. They're not identical, but the Dixie Thumper one is not identical anyway. It's just a new design. I just like this setup because if you want to set it down with the rounds in it, you can. That's something you can't do with that old design. So, and you can take them and they'll fit in the ammo can. 3 wide, not a problem. This style here I'll include with the 2.1 inch safety pin, and they're made to be more like a replica of Vietnam type, or post-Vietnam, even all the way up into the 90s. When I got out, we were using the same setup. So essentially this right here. See, here's the paper clip, or not the paper clip, I keep wanting to say paper clip, safety pin. So there's the safety pin, and you can see this one's got a replica in it. So anyway, all right, so yeah, so winter. So yes, going to be a winner, very much a winner for sure, definitely a winner. These are 6 for $24 plus $12 shipping, so I'll ship them flat rate priority in a box. 12 of them will fit in there, or sorry, 6 of them will fit in there. I think I could get 12 in there too. Anyway, so that, obviously aluminum is always good to go. You should always have a good stash of them. Unfortunately, there are some limitations with these, but they are good still. Again, they're still, right now, I'm going to categorize them as too much money for what I'm, you know, the performance based on that. These, I'll be offering these, the short 2.1 buttermilk 2.1 12 gauge blanks. You can load your own blanks. I'm gonna call that a winner, but you're gonna have to use shotgun powder probably to get the best performance. So that's the same situation I'm running with these, I'm pretty certain. The Bullseye is probably not going to cut it. You're probably going to, because you got to remember with these casings, when you're doing Bullseye, it's a lot smaller volume. Smaller volume gives you higher pressures. Bigger volume gives you lower pressures with the same amount of powder. So you got to increase your powder load. And I don't like the power curve on the Bullseye. I don't want to put 20 grains of Bullseye in here. That's probably dangerous. So Bullseye is a double base powder. It's extremely dangerous. Okay, it can detonate on you almost like dynamite. I mean, it's not quite that much, but it can be very dangerous. So you want to go stick back to a single base. Go to Unique. Go to I believe Tight Group. That's what I'm gonna look at is Tight Group. I'm gonna reload these and see how I can get these to perform. Okay, primer, powder cup, the copper cup. I'm not gonna mess with them. These carbon fiber with this base, I'll probably offer the base out there. If you cut them down, I think they do better, but you can substitute an aluminum tube of the same diameter. This one's a little thicker, but this base will work in this tube. So this is a thicker aluminum tube. Just keep in mind when you go with a thicker tube, you need a custom round to fit it. So that's always the issue, finding something that fits it. I do make some, but I'm trying to avoid making a ton of different types. The ones I have for the aluminum, they work pretty well. They are basically, let's see if we can run on this. There we go, right here. So these are aluminum, designed for aluminum casings, and they fit, and a little loose, so you still got to glue them in or put some tape or something on. That's the only problem if you're trying to design them to fit multiple aluminum holes. These older ones that say 37 millimeter, they're 34.5 almost exactly. So this is what I made these for originally, and it'll hold fairly good in there. It's dirty, but it gives you an idea. But I do sell these, and if you want, these are loose change compatible. So if you want the short nose cone, let me know. I don't have a medium. I get a Spitzer, a short, or this long. So for the aluminum. These are great. I'm going to continue these. Or no, these are the buttermilk. I'm not going to make those anymore. Not going to make those. Not going to make these. Probably won't make these either. There's really no advantage on the carbon fiber over the traditional brass or aluminum. I would just suggest use aluminum. So I probably won't. I might get some more just for novelty more than anything. They are lighter, but it doesn't really matter to me. Copper cup ones, they work, but I wasn't hugely impressed with them, so I will offer those STLs up, as well as these STLs. They'll be going on my Odyssey. And then these are great. These work awesome. You just got to make sure I think you should stick with 17 gauge brass on these if you do the insert. So when I get my inserts made, you can make the same bases. Just remember, you're probably gonna have to replace the bases. These are tight. I have to pound these in, so it doesn't surprise me that they crack with the pressure. So I might open those up just a tad bit, but this one here went off and it shot. But I did have this designed for a washer to go over the top of it, so I might incorporate the washer on top of that. 1.5 inch washer. You got to grind outside of a little bit if you use the brass. That's why I was using aluminum. Aluminum is thinner. I don't know. This one it looks like it did slip up too, see? The bottom, because it was all the way down. So I will mess with that a little bit. This one brass, no problem. So yeah, I think you're safe with brass. Aluminum, yeah, not so much, because these were aluminum too, both of these, and they flew off. I think it's just because they're just not holding as well. Okay, well, sorry about the lengthy video, but I know some of the people wanted kind of to know about the shells. This is up front, so I'm going to post this first, so you get kind of a bird's eye view of what worked, what didn't work, and when I post the regular video from the GoPro, it'll be hopefully edited in with the other two videos I have. and we will be able to put a good quality video together. It was a lot of fun shooting all these things off, man. What was that? That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 37, 41, 44, 47, 48, 49 rounds of 48 rounds of 37 and 1 round of 40 Mike out the new launcher. Yeah, it was a good time and beautiful weather out here today. So glad summer is almost here, or spring's back. Y'all launch safe. Make sure you load safe, and appreciate you, everybody following and trying stuff out, and appreciate you buying from me too. That definitely helps me recoup, because all this stuff costs money. I mean, all these tubes cost a lot of money just to experiment and find out what works and what doesn't. And machines. I mean, this one here was a lot of money. And there's chalk nose cones. So that's what's cooking. And that one's got pushers going. These are making pushers. That's making pushers, and they've all been tuned so they fit properly. All the stuff is 100% infill, 8 walls, and I think it's like the lowest setting on the walls. So yeah. All right. Sorry for the spin there. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Launch safely, and comment anything you want to see, anything you want to know. You can always hit me up. I'm on Reddit, 37mm, DT.com. I am on X. If you look for me, you'll find me. Patrick Henry 2.0. I will be setting up the X account for Dixie Thumper soon. And obviously, I'm on Odyssey. So if you look, Odyssey Dixie Thumper, and on eBay Dixie Thumper. So you should be able to find me. If not, message me. I'll send you the link. Take care.